A key congressional committee is endorsing big changes in the way we plan for retirement. Congressman Kevin Brady says, among other things, this bill would allow you to save longer.
Our workforce has changed dramatically over the past few years. Americans are living and working longer. So our bill eliminates the current age limits for making contributions to traditional IRAs, allowing older Americans to continue to save. This bill will also give older Americans more time before they're required to start pulling from their accounts, increasing the age from 70 and a half under current law to instead 72 years of age.
So I'm not a financial professional, but Dolph, it sounds to me like the bill would allow us to keep putting money into an IRA beyond the current age limit, and that would raise the RMD age to 72 from the current 70 and a half. It's not a done deal yet, but would this all be a good thing for all of us listening?
Well, there's got to be a catch. There's got to be something in it for the government, or else they wouldn't be proposing it if they're both agreeing to it, in my opinion. But when it comes to RMDs, there's so much you need to know. And this is part of the workshop that we're doing at the end of the month, the beginning of next month. There's a segment in there about RMDs and different options available to you on RMDs for that. But I'm just surprised that they're not making it 72 and a half, because they like to do, or 72 and a quarter. They like to have these weird ages. But I think about Michael and Debbie, and they've been clients of mine for a while, and they have a chunk of change in their RMDs. And they're one of those clients that when they have an RMD, there's two types of people out there. They don't need the RMD money, or they have that, what do I do with the RMD money? Mm-hmm. And it's out there. And Michael and Debbie and I worked with this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful strategy I showed to them. I said, Dolph, we have $1 million sitting in our qualified account. We have plenty of income. We don't have any anticipation of touching this money. We just want to take the RMDs out of it. What do we have available to you? And I said, that's a great question. And, I like to work on the guaranteed side. So I showed them this strategy, and they still couldn't believe it. And now they're part of it, and they just love it. And it's like they put in $1 million, and they get their death benefit is going to get a guaranteed 4% compounding growth interest rate on it. And they said, oh, that's wonderful. And I said, plus it's RMD friendly. So every year you can take your RMDs. And they said, well, what does this mean to us actually? Show us some numbers. And they're 70 years old, and their wife is 71. So basically in the $1 million, they got a 12% bonus right up front on the darn thing. So they were like, really? Long story short, on the guaranteed table I showed them, they lived to the age of 86 years old. Their guaranteed death benefit at that point is $919,000. And they would have taken out over $600,000 of RMDs over the next 16 years. So they would have drained their $1 million by 63% over the 16-year time frame and still basically have the same amount of money they put into the strategy. And it's mind-blowing. It's just a different option for an RMD. I mean, they're taking out $40,000 a year out of this vehicle, and their death benefit's not even getting harmed. What better way if you want to do a wealth transfer for them? So obviously Debbie and Michael were like, well, what if this value actually increases over the next 16 years? And I said, well, I showed them hypotheticals, and I won't even talk about the numbers. It's ridiculous. So there are other strategies, and if people aren't talking about RMD strategies of, hey, I just need this money and I want to pass it on to my beneficiaries, what options do I have? Because a lot of people go on a cruise. A lot of people, they buy health insurance with it, different ways out there. And a lot of people just spend it on whatever they do. But there are other options out there that allow you to do those things you just mentioned and can keep the principal, keep the death benefit intact.
These are so many different options out there that sometimes we don't know about in our day-to-day lives. And so taxes and retirement, a big deal. RMDs, those are two topics that Dolph addresses in a Where Do I Stand plan. If you'd like one of those, it involves sitting down with Dolph for about an hour, getting to know each other. And then when you leave, he and his team go to work doing the heavy lifting and completing this Where Do I Stand plan with a second opinion of your entire retirement. Looking at inflation, looking at RMDs, using that tax mapping software to make sure that you're tax efficient moving forward. Dolph does a detailed analysis of your risk tolerance, your Social Security benefit options, and possible health care cost and long-term care, how to take care of that in the future. Ultimately, Dolph will help you find out if you have the right retirement income plan to fit your lifestyle. Call now to make sure that you're ready to retire on your terms and that you've got the income coming in you can feel confident in with a Where Do I Stand plan, personalized for you. 704-919-0149. 704-919-0149. Connect as well at clearincomeforlife.com.